lot of people read my focus on athletic shooting last season like an attack on the competitive world. That's not true. I love 3-gun, IPSC, IDPA, and all the other shooting sports, even if I get my ass beat every time I get crazy enough to enter a competition. I'm not critical of the sports. For gun fanatics like you and me, they're awesome. But we need to look at competitive shooting in terms of its potential to influence the masses. I want kids hanging pro shooters on their bedroom walls the way they hang LeBron James and Derek Jeter. Gun owners ought to be screaming for a sport that gives us the national stage we deserve. A platform so cool it's like a Second Amendment insurance policy. Because we're all advocates, whether we like it or not. Everything we do or say or don't say is scrutinized, stripped of its context, and demonized by the misguided people out there who would ban our way of life in a heartbeat. For the next few episodes, I'm hitting the road to talk to a lot of gun industry people about how we're gonna come together to defend this right. My first stop is deep in the piney woods of East Texas with world champion shooter BJ Norris.
We are at Bill Wilson's personal range, the Circle WC Ranch in Northeast Texas.
Okay.
We've got a pretty neat little stage set up for us to shoot today. We're gonna start with a handgun. We've got an activator popper, which is gonna trip the swinging paper target. And then we're gonna engage the 4 static steel plates on that tree. Then we're gonna safely ground the pistol on the table, move across to the bolt action rifle, engage another 4 target tree that's about 100 yards downrange. We're gonna move to the plate rack with a shotgun, engage our 6 plates on the plate rack. We're gonna put it down safely on the table. We're gonna move across, we're gonna have an AR carbine over here. We're gonna pick it up. We got 2 shots on a charging target. Then we're gonna move about another 25 yards downrange and engage 8 steel poppers there.
Gotta be honest with you, sounds like a lot of stuff I'm gonna forget.
There is a lot of stuff going on.
Looks like fun though. So let's have at it.
Let's do it, man.
Ready?
Shooter ready.
Ready.
Stand by. Talk to your elected representatives and try and get them out to shoot. Instead of just hounding them about, oh, I don't want you to vote for this bill. I think you should vote against this. I think, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. why don't we try and get them out and shoot?
I want to believe that could work. The reason why I don't believe it'll work, I think it falls in the same vein as like getting celebrities to go out and shoot. There are a ton of celebrities that go out and shoot quietly. They do it and they love it. But they're not willing to risk, one, their reputation, nor their livelihood, ironically enough, to come out publicly and say it. I think where it needs to start is with us. We've got to make ourselves unable to be ignored. The fact that you do this full time, how much of the political aspect plays a role in it? Like, do you at all feel threatened?
If we lose the right, even be able to shoot and compete, then I've got to find another living, and that's going to not only affect me and my family, but many other families that work in the industry and depend on the job that comes through.
Next up on my magical mystery Second Amendment tour, Eagle Pass, Texas. I'll be honest, I was pretty apprehensive about this one. I've never been to the border before, and it wasn't exactly on my bucket list. Seeing the inner workings of one of America's oldest and best gun makers, though, that was. Anti-gunners, go ahead and fast forward, because you won't want to see so many hardworking Americans earning a living by creating thousands and thousands of big, scary guns. Welcome to the story no one wants to talk about. In an age where we mourn the loss of American labor, gun manufacturing gives hundreds of thousands of our neighbors, friends, and relatives a way to provide for their families. And look, rows and rows of guns, and no one shooting each other. It's a miracle, right? Anyway, for a lot of gun guys, Mossberg means shotguns, great shotguns. But what stood out to me were some of the lesser-known guns like the MVP patrol rifle, which Losort and I used in our competition last season.
This trigger is highly underrated, if you ask me.
Initially, I thought the whole lightning trigger thing was a little gimmicky, but it's a damn good trigger. You could argue that even just producing guns like the patrol rifle is a defense of the Second Amendment in itself, and you'd be right. But the government can ban rifles, it can ban shotguns, and it can ban triggers. It can and has banned anything and everything firearms related. So it's not enough for us just to make the guns and shoot the hell out of them. We have to be vocal about how important this right is. I don't care if you build guns, shoot guns, collect guns, whatever. If you use them, you're an advocate, like it or not.
No matter whether you're an end user or somebody that manufactures them, if you don't recognize that you have to be engaged in the political process, I think you're really missing the boat.
When the factory tour finally came to an end, I was left with a deep respect for the men and women working the assembly line. These are the silent champions of the Second Amendment. People who come in every day and through very difficult work, make it possible for free Americans to access their right to keep and bear arms. Next week on Noir. I take my great American gun trip to Minnesota, the home of federal premium ammunition, and some of the most fun I've had on the range in years.